They trusted the darkness outside their door. They never imagined it was already inside their home. In the quiet suburban sprawl of Medicine Hat, Alberta, normalcy was a carefully tended illusion. Children played in manicured lawns. Garage doors hummed open and shut. And inside a modest home on Hanson Drive, the Richardson family lived out the patterns of an ordinary life. Mark Richardson worked heavy equipment. Deborah, nurturing yet firm, kept the household afloat. Their 7-year-old son Jacob filled the house with the chaotic brightness of childhood. And Jasmine, their 12-year-old daughter, drifted somewhere just beyond reach. Jasmine was changing. Teachers noted it first: the black clothing, the sudden, bitter poems about death and rage. At home, she withdrew into a world her parents struggled to understand. Still, they pushed through the motions. Family dinners, school drop-offs, vacations half-heartedly planned. On the night of April 22, 2006, everything seemed routine. Dinner plates clattered in the sink. Jacob was tucked into bed, clutching his favorite stuffed dinosaur. The house settled into uneasy sleep. But just after midnight, a shadow tapped on Jasmine's window. 3 deliberate knocks. And the fragile world they had built began to shatter. By mid-morning, something was wrong. Jacob missed his soccer game, unheard of. Neighbors noticed the blinds still drawn, the driveway too quiet. When police forced entry into the Richardson home, they found horror waiting for them. Mark lay at the basement landing, his throat slashed, his chest punctured over and over. Deborah's body was crumpled nearby, her hands shredded from desperate attempts to fend off her attacker. Upstairs, Jacob lay sprawled across his bed, still in his pajamas, a single fatal stab wound ending a life barely begun. But Jasmine was missing. At first, hope flickered. Had she been kidnapped? Had she escaped? That hope decayed fast. Her bedroom told another story. Walls covered in dark sketches, bleeding hearts, screaming faces. Journal entries fixated on violence and escape. One chilling line written in a shaky scrawl: "We'll be together forever, or not at all." Friends spoke of a new boyfriend, older, dangerous. Jeremysteinke, 23 years old, proud, self-declared vampire, a drifter from the wrong side of the world. Together, Jasmine and Jeremy wove fantasies of a life unchained from authority, fueled by obsession and rage. Authorities realized Jasmine wasn't missing. She was running. 2 days later, nearly 150 miles away, the fugitives were found. Huddled together at a remote campsite, Jasmine and Jeremy greeted officers with eerie calm, as if the blood-soaked memories they left behind were someone else's problem now. Inside Jeremy's pocket, a small hunting knife still stained with dried blood. In custody, Jasmine confessed almost immediately, without a tear, without hesitation. She had helped plan it. She had stabbed her own mother. She had stood by as her little brother pleaded for his life. Not a crime of passion, not a desperate mistake. It was a blueprint, executed almost perfectly. Driven not just by love, but by the belief that love demanded sacrifice. The trial unraveled the darkness woven between them. Prosecutors revealed a chilling trove of digital correspondence. Emails, text messages, chat logs, conversations saturated with fantasies of murder, escape, and eternal devotion. Jeremy wrote of becoming werewolves, of rampaging through towns, killing those who stood in their way. Jasmine answered with glee, encouraging, promising. On the night of April 22nd, they made good on their promises. Jeremy entered first, attacking Mark in the basement. Deborah, roused by the commotion, fought and fell. Jacob woke up screaming. Jasmine crept into his room and silenced him with a single thrust of the blade. Then they fled, laughing, kissing, dreaming of a future built atop corpses. But the real world closed in faster than their fantasy could outrun it. Jeremy was sentenced to life in prison, eligible for parole after 25 years. Jasmine, only 12 at the time of the murders, was sentenced under Canada's Youth Criminal Justice Act. The maximum penalty, 10 years. By 2016, Jasmine walked free. New identity, new life. Medicine Hat never truly recovered. The Richardson home was demolished. The land, once full of family laughter and backyard games, now lies empty, a scar the earth refuses to heal. In interviews, those who knew Jasmine struggled for words. She was polite. She was smart. She was troubled. But no one, no teacher, no neighbor, no friend, ever saw the full abyss yawning beneath her smile. Experts debated whether she was a victim of Jeremy's manipulation. But her writings, her actions, her coldness after the fact, They whispered a deeper horror, one that didn't come from outside influence, one that bloomed from within. Today, somewhere in Canada, Jasmine lives under another name. Her record was sealed, her past buried. But to those who remember, to those who stared into the black hole of what she did, the horror remains fresh. Because evil doesn't always come with warning signs. It doesn't always wear a monster's face. Sometimes, it hides behind innocence, behind a child's soft smile, behind a family dinner table, moments before the knives come out. And sometimes, the ones we think are lost are exactly where they want to be. They say monsters live under the bed, but the real monsters grow up in plain sight, smiling, laughing, plotting. In the end, the greatest betrayals aren't from strangers in the dark. They're from the ones who once called you family.
Obsession, murder, a pact sealed in blood. The line between love and control shattered a family forever. Watch the full story. Comment your verdict. Subscribe for more twisted true crime.